friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today I want to just review Bastilla, Canderous, the whole Marquee event as it's gone down, and I want to talk about what these two characters mean for the future, some rumors that have been going around, and really I also want to plug some random stuff for you. I'm very excited about this. Now, before I begin, guys, Christmas is coming. If you are interested in buying that loved one something nice, pretty, blingly, and you don't want to spend a ton of money, I've got a link in the section below, and I'll kind of talk about some other stuff towards the end or at the end of the video, so you can jump there too. But guys, I am freaking stoked because this event has been fun. It hasn't been, this is one that I've actually gone through and I've played and kind of enjoyed. Usually with a Marquee event or with Marquee events, I just hit auto, I get past that first little section and I'm like, oh, I'm done with this. But it has been fun to see these characters in action. Bastilla Fallen, or as I like to call her, Emo Bastilla, and Canderous Ordo are two characters that I've wanted ever since they introduced KOTOR as a faction, right? The Old Republic as a faction. As soon as they came in, I was like, boom, these are two characters that I want, with the major exception of HK-47, a rework Bastilla, and Canderous. Now, I prefer light side Bastilla. I think she's great. A lot of people have said that a 4-star Bastilla, Gear 8, G8, can totally handle Revan in the arena. Now, I've seen a lot of videos are out there. I have some videos of that, but I'm going to show you kind of like my event and my process here. Now, what's interesting, guys, what I have absolutely loved and have been fascinated with is throughout this whole event, backgrounds of these fights, of these, that where these places take place. And it is so freaking cool. I love seeing the terrace background in Canderous's level. That was so freaking neat. Seeing the Star Forge in Bastilla's, that was awesome. And it could all be leading to something great, grand, wonderful, and very possibly something pretty freaking sweet. What I'm thinking that we're going to see, I'm actually going to hold off to the end of the video, but looking at these characters, looking at these kits, seeing them in action was a lot of fun. Now, I think Bastilla is great. I think, Emo Bastilla is great. I think she's a solid character. 4-star, you're not going to go wrong with spending $10 here or $10 there. For Americans, for, people in the US, that's not a ton of money. I know that the packs and the values are a little askew in areas outside of the US, Brazil, talking to you guys. But you're not the only country, right? There's a lot of places out there. I think even in England, the pack value isn't right on. It's off a little bit. And that's something that does need to be addressed. But again, a different video. I do think for US buyers, people where it's only about $10, that's not a terrible value. That's pretty solid. And I think that getting her to 4-star, getting her to Gear 11, and putting a Zeta on her is definitely viable. Is definitely something that I think personally isn't a stretch. Now, I look at my experience with light side Bastilla. I call her the true Bastilla. I bought Bastilla when she was light side Bastilla. I got her to 4-star and I put a Zeta on her. And I said in my last video, I used that character for about 3 to 4 months. And I maintained a pretty solid arena rank at the time. Now, if you're going to wail out on her, none of that matters because you're going to do it anyways. But if you're debating, if it's something that you're not sure you want to do, $10 isn't a terrible thing. And this character, I do think, is worth the $10. Now, I don't know. I mean, if you're debating and you don't have a solid Sith team, don't do it. Don't do it at all. Because if you don't have a solid Sith team already, don't even worry about it. Absolutely not. It's out of the question. Don't do it. Because you need a solid Sith team, or you at least need Palpatine solid. You need a good Vader. He's very useful. Nihilus, Scion, all useful. If you don't have those tunes, it's not worth $10. It's not worth the pack or the bundle or whatever. Don't spend crystals on it. That's never worth it. ever. Ever. It's just not. Canderous is a different situation. I like Canderous. I really like Canderous. His kit's solid. His uses are solid. He's a viable character. He really, really is. That basic attack alone is freaking sweet. I love it. But in my mind, Canderous is going to have a very specific location, a very specific purpose. Canderous, I don't think is going to be very useful in the arena. I think he's going to be okay in the arena. He's going to be one of those characters that is like, you can swap him out for someone else. I do think Canderous is going to be very valuable as an offensive character in territory wars. I think that is just hands down where he's going to be most useful. Because of that triple attack, it's just powerful. It's a powerhouse attack. It cuts through tanks and taunting tanks, and it is freaking sweet. I love it. Now, with Canderous, though, there's a few teams that I really want to put together, and I wasn't able to do it because I am not going to wail out on Canderous, but I want to see a 7-star Canderous underneath Darth Vader with Wampa and Sidious and the Tusken and Canderous, and I want to see them go against the Rancor. And I want to see just a ton of damage being added to that Rancor. Damage over time would just be stacked and stacked and stacked. It was really cool to see that just get that clock up, that number clock up as Canderous kept attacking. And I think that it would be powerful. Think of like 30 or 40 or 50 damage over times, and then Vader throwing in his calling blade and boom, just cutting the Rancor to pieces. Would be awesome. I actually spent more time than I should have trying to remember who did damage over time. I didn't want to look it up because I was like, no, it's an easy thing. I'll remember, and it didn't come to me. But I think those 5 would actually be a really fun team to play. Now, because Canderous doesn't have because I tried him out on Scoundrels, and he's solid on a Scoundrel team. I tried a few different teams. Mostly it was the same under Kier Elite. I tried the Old Republic team. Solid. They're solid, but not the best, not the greatest. I think there's a use for them, but until you can find out what that use is, the investment in the pack, the investment in whatever the bundle is, the actual monetary investment just doesn't seem worth it to me. It is a vanity purchase. It is a purchase that you're using just simply because you want Canderous. And if I'm wrong, please leave a comment in the section below. Tell me what your experiences are, because I can be wrong. It happens a lot. I admit it. It happens a lot. But I really think Canderous is kind of just like this. He's going to be good. But there is something that he's just lacking right now. And maybe that's a use. Maybe Canderous is going to be phenomenal in the Grand Arena. I don't rightly know, but very well could be. Now, moving on. We now have all of the KOTOR tunes, with the exception of 2. We are still missing Juhani, and we are still missing Carth Onasi. We are currently also missing the Ebon Hawk. Now, we're not going to get the Ebon Hawk until we get Carth Onasi. That just makes sense. That's what's going to happen. I think sometime in the month of November, we are going to get those 3 things. I think we're going to be getting the Ebon Hawk. I think we're going to be getting Carth Onasi and Juhani. And hopefully, a rework to HK47. Now, what we've seen in the past is typically 2 tunes with a ship. And often it comes down to a tune, a rework, and a ship. I would love if they just said, here's 2 tunes, a rework, and a ship. That would be great. That would be so freaking cool. And it would round out KOTOR, with the exception of Darth Revan. Now, here's what I think they could do with a Darth Revan that wouldn't piss anyone off. I'm sure it pissed someone off, because everyone's pissed off at something at some point currently, right? But it wouldn't be, I don't think, unfair. I think it would be valuable. Now, what they could do with the Grand Arena is give us Grand Arena currency, some kind of monetary system that we can earn to spend in the Grand Arena store, which they should open and probably will, right? Now, if they do that, what we could see is a number of different things. One, we could see a whole number of new characters being added to a store, which would be great. We could also see a number of gear pieces being added to the store that are difficult to get, but could then be less difficult to get because they're in a new store. That would be awesome. Two, we could see Darth Revan being added as a farmable character in the store. Someone like H. Yoda, someone like Wampa, who's valuable, who's good, who's a solid freaking character who can only be farmed in one place and only with this type of currency. It would limit how fast most players can get the character, right? Because most players, it took, I think, 3 to 5 months to unlock Hermit Yoda, right? And it was because you had to go through and you do those territory wars, territory battles. What would be interesting with that is it would allow, depending on how they set this whole Grand Arena thing up, it would allow players to be able to, even low players, high players, to be farmed roughly at the same rate. Now, the reason I say that is because you're going to be farming, or you're going to be fighting people of your similar skill set, right? You're going to be farming people of a similar galactic power. If, for whatever reason, you're, I don't know, rank 4,020, you're going to be fighting people who are rank 4,020. If you're rank 800, you're going to be fighting people around the rank 800, depending on what your galactic power is, right? It's going to be those types of people. So you're going to have a better chance than if you were going up against people, you were trying to compete against people who are rank 1 in Arena, for example, who are whales, who are whatever. You're not going to be going up against a whale if you're not a whale. You're not going to be going up against dolphins if you're not a dolphin. Hell, goldfish will not be fighting minnows. I mean, unless they're like super aggressive minnows. And dolphins will not be fighting against sharks unless, again, you're an aggressive dolphin like myself. You might be fighting against like the grass shark or like the reef shark, one of those like herbivore sharks that don't actually eat other animals. Possible. It's very possible. I'm just saying. But what that would do is, depending who got number 1 in the arena, and this is all depending on if they do it this way, you could potentially get the same amount of currency at a very low level as you could someone who is a whale. Now, for a character like Darth Revan in his shop like that, it would be very beneficial and really, I think, generous. I think it could very well piss off a lot of the whales. It could. So maybe they won't do it. I don't know. I have actually no idea what they're going to do. But it would, I think, be a huge gesture to the free-to-play players to say, hey, here's one avenue where you can maybe step up your game. That would be cool. I think it'd be a really neat way to do it. I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff coming. I do think they just need to wrap up KOTOR. And maybe move on to KOTOR 2. Maybe next August, maybe next July, we get the start of KOTOR 2. I don't rightly know. Hopefully next August, July, they're ramping up for, episode 9. We'll see. But I think there's a lot of stuff that's potentially on the horizon, specifically around Darth Revan. I hope we don't get a Darth Revan as another legendary character. I'm just not ready for it. And I don't think really anyone besides really aggressive whales are. But those are just my opinions, guys. What do you think? Leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think. If I made a mistake, if you think I'm wrong here, call me out on it. I've got a thick skin, guys, and that's not just the belly fat. It is, I can take criticism. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know. Now, finally, guys, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you are interested, if you have a sister, mom, a dad, someone who likes jewelry, feminine jewelry, my mom's doing this thing, and it's for $5. You can get some really cool looking jewelry for your girlfriend, your mom, your sister, brother, cousin, boyfriend, whoever, right? Different strokes for different folks. I used to wear, besides a wedding ring, I used to wear like necklaces and like chains and stuff, and I was super grungy. But if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the section below. It's fairly inexpensive, guys. It is all quality jewelry. So give it a shot with Christmas around the corner. Don't spend a ton of money. Just make it look like you spent a ton of money, because then you get rewarded, and it's wonderful. But as always, guys, this has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Stay nerdy, my friends.